Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'm running to be the mayor of Abbotsford to bring the RCMP in on the organized crime, the threats on Abbotsford residents, and the attempted murder by Henry Brown running me over with his car, using his power and his friends. Today I stand on man farms, and I want to outline something to you today. I want you to maybe just watch a small little clip, and then I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm going to show you an unbelievable, despicable, filthy act by the Mayor, Ross Siemens.
When Abbotsford was hit with devastating floods in 2021, where I'm standing here at Dykeman Cattle Company in the Sumas Prairie was completely underwater. The cows were nearly treading water as the farmers evacuated.
That is Ted Dykeman's farm. Due to the negligence that took place with the floods, Ted Dykeman hauled gravel and dirt in he got to build the perimeter around this barn to protect it. The city of Abbotsford, the filthy mayor, and the filthy Peter Speranese that called quits went after Ted Dykeman because he said the LSC and you didn't get a permit to haul it in. Basically, Ted Dykeman didn't go into the city and tell Peter Speranese, here's the money for Ross to look away. So let me begin. Many Farms is an illegal operation that puts the general public in danger, and he made millions of dollars tied through the establishment to put these fairs on, and nobody impounds them or bylaw or nothing. When it came to the ALSC, Many Farms hauled all this dirt into this piece of ag land to make a gravel pit, to make a parking lot. All contaminated soil in the hundreds and hundreds of dollars. In the city of Abbotsford, on many phone calls and complaints by the residents and also the endangerment, they don't got parking and everything, didn't go after Many Farms because he's tied in the establishment. Many Farms went out and used an illegal operation on ag land to make millions of dollars to go out and buy farms, often of a criminal act, week in and week out. Because he was tied to the establishment, he didn't get fined. When Ross Siemens hauled his contaminated gas station into Mission and dumped it, the ALC didn't go after him because Henry Brown was tied to Pam, and the city didn't give any fines. When Dave Sidhu went and changed the property on Tracy Road now for his dad and did all this. But here on the Mackenzie Bog on ALC, the city has yet, when people got deadly sick, yet to enforce any fines or cease and desist orders. They went out and crushed the farmers because they do not want the farmers to show that they're moving ahead, so the federal government steps in with the relief money. I told you many months you've seen Bruce Bamman not advocate for the flood money because he knew it was going to the establishment, Henry Brown and his bureaucrats, and not to the farmers. I'm going to tell you as mayor, I'm going to pat Ted Dykeman and all the farmers on their back and say, carry on, protect your animals, you got the consent, there's no fines, there's nothing. But I'm also going to tell you, as farmers, you can advocate that money from the federal government, Carney, directly and cut the establishment out. And that's what you need to do. You do not need the city of Abbotsford, you don't need any of them to be taking any of your money, and it doesn't need to go there. When the money was given for Barrowtown, the $76 million, Henry made sure with Ross they could spend the money unfairly, and they hauled sand in with Jake's Contracting, they hauled sand out. Then they hauled gravel in and they hauled gravel out, burning up the money. They never cleaned the ditches, fixed the pumps or nothing, or restaked the dike committee. So now they wanted to beat up Ted Dykeman and the farmers. This is a real bad mistake. And then by doing that, Ross Siemens went into hiding, and he wouldn't even go on TV and talk because he knew that when I saw it, I'd be front and center and saying, Henry Brown went through Pamela Alexis and David Eby for insider trading on Ron Funk, the Barrowtown Waterwork, and Dave Sidhu's property lifted for $6 million on Tracy Road for Vitalis. $30 million to a corporate to Vitalis for a handout. And you're going to beat up Ted Dykeman? This is what they were doing, beating up the low-class people and the low citizens and running roughshod between Henry, the city, and Abbotsford Police. All down this road, cars are parked all day long. They got actual porta potties on the street where people step out and no vehicles are allowed to be here. and yet there was no fines given for Magna. There was nothing. This is why Peter Speranese called quits. He knows Mr. Pelican is very, 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 very serious when I'm telling you I'm coming in as your mayor. And I might have to maybe roll over to be an MP or an MLA if this doesn't work out for Abbotsford. And I'm coming in as your mayor to bring the RCMP. And guys like Ted Dyckman are going to be front and center, be called national heroes, and being sent to Ottawa to do their work for their farmers, mitigate for their farmers, and they're going to be tagged national heroes. I'm all for my farmers. I've been here for day one for my farmers. I've never looked away from my farmers. But when a man like this can haul contaminated soil in, and hundreds of loads, and the ALC didn't get after him because they were all friends of friends. When the Abbotsford police could carry out threats. So you saw the other night I did a video on Darren Brown on Blue Sky on what he was doing as he was bringing the applicant on his job site. He was Henry's son and everything. When I stood up to fight for my residents, guys like Ted Dyckman, Marion Moscadam, and all them, of what Henry did, Henry couldn't own me. He knew that I was not going to be tied into the establishment and listen to him to become mayor and become his puppet. I went with my residents, I stood with my residents, I had the RCMP help me. Henry used the whole of the Abbotsford task force to threaten me. Thanks to the RCMP, their help, their wisdom and knowledge, they pissed off all over every one of them. Now they're on the phone. Carney, please, you got to save me. I'm the guy that can get the drugs in Abbotsford and get you more money. Abbotsford Police are the major corporates of why this took place. When I wanted to run videos, Henry sent them after me knowing that I came from big developers and I could highlight it very quickly. So the question now to Ted Dyckman, to his lawyers, and now to the ALC. Why is Ted Dyckman being hampered and slammed on because of Ross and his cowardly people when this has endangered the general public? The kids, the youth, made millions of dollars for this man to go make money and buy other properties, hauled dirt in illegally, contaminated soil, and same with the Mackenzie Bog because they were all tied together. I'm running for your mayor. Pass the word to all the farmers, Ted. There will be no fines. I'll be there to help you fill out the application so Carney comes in, gets votes and gets helps and gets his MLAs and his MPs elected, and directly you can be the applicant to the federal government to fix your dikes and fix everything. We're going to cut out Ross Siemens and we're going to cut out the provincial government because of what they were doing. Ted, I want you to take a look down on Tracy Road at Dave Sadu, the sitting council, and his lift to his land, the endangerment to the aquifer, all the chemicals I showed you, and how Vitalis gave him a corporate handout. Millions of dollars stolen out of Abbotsford's Barrowtown. And this is why Henry Brown used the Abbotsford Police constantly on me to threaten me. We owe the Mission RCMP. Today, thanks to the Mission RCMP, all the development signs I could show you, the insider trading, and job sites like this. Under my mayorship, let me tell you what's going to happen to Manny Farms. We're going to come in and we're going to go after him from all the taxes he was waived, all the profit he made unfairly where everybody else had to be enslaved and had to pay high tax dollars. And I also want to tell Ted Dyckman, you don't forget Amric Moran's running for the mayor, or for the council, I should say, for council. And he's got the establishment trying to load him, Brad Viss. This is the man that sat on Archway Community Service when your money was being raised. Archway took your money in the name of the flood victims, went out and bought more real estate. Also on there, Ted Dyckman, looked very closely, is Patricia Dreesen. She's a sitting council and she's the director on there. When Archway got its taxes as a non-profit, when it made profit, Dreesen waived it. And they told me if I cooperated with them and I listened with them, they could make me the mayor, they could make me very successful. This is what happens. There's always somebody knows that goes around to the proper authorities and demands that the rest of the community be treated the same. The rest of the community make sure that they're not paying the taxes and the burden for all these people that they were doing what they were doing. I'm going to be here and I'm going to do more podcasts for Ted Dyckman. So the question now to Ted Dyckman, you need to fill out the application. I'm the man that will take you to Carney, fill out the application for the farmers, and I'll be the man to tell Carney, your MPs that were running in Abbotsford were being purposely blocked by Henry Brown, their signs being stolen and everything, to load his shit kicker friends. And thanks with the RCMP helps, Ed's EDA Riding Association, she's all on world YouTube. So I'm going to tell you, Ted, you go look right now. Peter Speranese called quits because of the insider trading on Dave Sidhu's property, the rocks on Gladys Avenue for Rom Funk, and all the illegal stuff. And they were going to make big waves on Ted Dyckman. This is where the ALC should have been, not at Ted Dyckman. This is where Ross Siemens should have been, and this is why Ross Siemens would not comment when the news was out there. I'm live, Abbotsford, British Columbia, Manny Farms, Abbotsford, BC.